I heard the click. Doctor, it's a real pleasure to interview you, really. I've been waiting for this time to talk to you because I've admired yourself. You are a teacher, a writer, and you're an inspiration to a lot of people around the church. You remind me of a minister. I'm from South Carolina. A minister that I had years ago, Baptist minister, that was humble, a guy like you, and you remind me of him. Are you from the South?
I am. I'm actually from South Carolina. No, where were you?
Columbia,
really?
Right, yeah.
Well, you're familiar with Florence and Timinsville?
Oh, yeah, all the balls. Yeah, this was years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm actually from Timinsville.
Is that right?
I was living in Florence when we moved up here. Okay, yeah. A good friend of mine lives in Columbia.
Columbia, yeah. My family, some of my family's still down there, but it's been many years since I've been down there.
How about that? I went down for a funeral. My mentor, I call my mentor, he was my major professor. And was that last year?
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
What church was it, the name of the church that you attended down there?
Well, we attended Round Baptist Church, which was where Reverend Ace came from.
Mm-hmm.
But my friend, I can't remember the name of the church. It's a Methodist church right there in Columbia, where they were attending. Matter of fact, I just talked to his wife last week.
Well, did you know Reverend Days before you came here?
Yes, we did. As a matter of fact, we were tied in with the that UBIA project, and that's why we came up here. You know, with Kwame, Udire and his family, we came to kind of add some support to him until they got established.
Oh, Kwame too was involved with the.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Kwame was involved in it before I was actually when I was a principal in Florence, and we were attending Reverend Days Church at that time, and so he and Kwame met at some convention or something at some convention, and they were planning to go to Africa to help establish that UBIA program. And so out of, I think there were like 7 or 8 of us, and so I was asked to go as someone representing education because they were looking at trying to do some things to support the education effort. So when we were there, we actually talked with the Minister of Education and several teachers. We visited some classes, and so that was my I guess road to kind of ending up here.
So your relationship go way back.
Way back, yeah.
It's truly fitting. Kwame was involved at the time too.
Kwame was involved. Kwame, when, as I understand it, when he and Reverend Days met, I think it might have been California because Kwame was attending as that convention. But he was at that time he was the director of Trans World Radio, which was stationed in Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya, where he lived. So he traveled worldwide representing them, and so he and Reverend Days agreed to try to get the UBIA project established. Because I don't know if you recall, that was like '94 when Nelson Mandela was just being released from prison and becoming president, and so there was this effort to provide some support and help the African people, especially in South Africa, help them get on the right track. And we thought, well, as Americans, particularly African Americans, what could we do? And so that was the whole purpose of it, to try to establish a network headquartered in the United States that would connect with Africa, Europe, because we had some other people we associated with there also. And so we were trying to gain some, I think, involvement from a lot of African Americans in America.
Yeah, right.
Who would either provide some assistance with resources or finances or anything that would be helpful. While we were there, Reverend Hayes and Kwame and some of the other ministers who went, they did workshops with some of the ministers there. I actually spoke at one or two churches, and it was just remarkable. When we visited the refugee camps, at that time the Tutsis and the Hutus were fighting, and so we were able to see some of those people who had to run from their homes, and it was really an impactful kind of experience. So anyway, Reverend Days thought that if he were able to get Kwame here in the United States, it would be a better opportunity for the UBIA project to move forward, because he felt that there were more resources here and the network could be stronger. And so I think that then was just, I'm trying to remember if he actually moved here first, and then they started UBIA, or if he started just before he left South Carolina. But anyway, was it within that 2 or 3 years?
Was Kwame that? Was he a educator?
No, Kwame actually, as the director, one of the things he did for Transworld Radio was conduct. They had a nationwide radio program, and he and Emmy actually both worked at the radio. They did a radio program.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. So he was the point person that went around to all of the different, as I said, different countries and different villages and cities, establishing for the Transworld Radio direction for how they could support the people, particularly especially in the rural areas where radio was the primary source of communication. I mean, you could go all the way out into 100 miles out, and nothing but you would think it was nothing but bush and desert. There might be one radio that the whole community came together. They listened, so they kept up with everything.
It's something similar to TBN at the station here.
So Kwame actually, as I said, he was doing very effective work there. Wherever he went, people knew him. And so when he agreed to come to the United States, and Atlantic City was just the natural place because that's where Reverend Days was. And my wife and I agreed that we would come and try to help them get started at least. And so that's how we ended up here.
All right. Your immediate family, I know you have a son.
Actually, I have 5 children in all.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, three sons. And
is that right? All I've heard about was your son. He's a school teacher or something?
Right. He's the youngest one. Yeah, he teaches English in high school.
Yeah. You have 5 children. Are they
they're all
here? Around?
No, actually, David's the only one actually here. One son is actually a principal in Columbus, Ohio. The other one that comes kind of pretty frequently lives in D.C. He's also a teacher there. One of our daughters is, she has a certification in teaching, but she doesn't teach. She kind of does some speaking and those things. And then the other daughter lives in North Carolina. And she's been kind of in the labor market, but she's not in the profession.
Household teachers.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Amazing, yeah.
Chip off the old block.
Yeah, and I never thought that.
Your educational background, did you teach at the...
I did.
Before you became a principal?
I taught, I started with high school. I taught high school English in South Carolina. It was a high school just that served many of the Shore Air Force Base students. And after I was there for about 5 years, actually I went back to my home school in hometown in Timmersville and taught middle school there. Then I started working on my master's and got my master's while I was there. And that's when I was interested, or introduced rather, to the idea about administration. The mentor I was telling you about, he was teaching some classes at the University of South Carolina, and he encouraged some of us to come and be a part of a doctoral program he was establishing, because he said we really needed some black leadership, and he wanted, at the doctorate level, who could make a difference in the schools. At that time, Governor Dick Riley, was really pushing to improve particularly the rural and urban schools in South Carolina. I was going to ask you about your doctor status, how you received it. After talking with him, I decided to get into administration. So, because I had really planned to get my doctorate in English, I wanted to teach at the college level. But I decided instead to go in the direction that he was talking about, since he actually established the program. And so we took the courses. Part of our program took us to Cornell University, which is where he graduated from. They were working with us to provide that part of, I guess, education that we would not have gotten. We went to Cornell for about 3 weeks, and we worked on our residency requirements, and also began working on our dissertation. And so, just as I was finishing my doctorate, just before I finished, I actually got an invitation to take over elementary principal school. Elementary school. So I left the middle school teaching job and went to Somerton and worked there as a principal. And what was interesting, I worked there. I was a principal for 1 year, and the next year, the superintendent asked me to take over as assistant superintendent for instruction, because the assistant superintendent had left, and I was afraid, because I'd just become a principal. Right. But it was funny. My mentor said if I didn't accept the position, that he was going to beat my, because I've been taking a lot of classes with him. He knew or felt I could do it. So I stayed there with the assistant superintendent for curriculum and instruction. And before I finished, I did finish around 3 years, and was prepared to go into my 4th year. And then there was, in Florence, the largest elementary school in Clarence, which at that time was all black. Urban children, most of them on free reduced lunch. And the principal was retiring, and they wanted someone to take over and try to turn it around because they had a lot of issues. And so they offered, considerably more money if I would come over there and take over that school. It was funny because at the same time there was another district. They were asking me to come and take over a high school. So I decided to go on to the elementary school because actually that was closer to, again, my home. I said, so let me go and try it.
Were you an only child?
No, actually, there's 6 of us.
6 of you. Are they all educated like you?
No, I'm the only one. I'm the first one to graduate from college. The only one to have the advanced degrees.
Yeah, right.
But my brother actually went to the Air Force, and he now actually does contract work with the FBI. He does a lot of the the technical stuff.
Work, yeah,
stuff.
Right.
My oldest sister in Louisiana, she works with a telephone company. Been with them for years. And my younger sister, actually two, my baby sisters also work with a telephone company. And then my sister, who was a twin to my brother, she works like with a nursing home thing. And then the other sister, she works with the school, but she's not a teacher.
Oh, good. How was it like growing up with a family of 5, 6?
Well, I tell you,
were you sheltered?
No, really. We
all educated.
We got very interesting. We were living in New York. We moved to New York. My mom and dad, were not together. And when I was 9. We were living in Brooklyn, and my mom was killed actually.
Oh God, sorry to hear that.
So then that's what kind of split us up, and we moved.
Were you in foster homes?
Well, no, we were able to go to different relatives.
Right.
One of my aunts took the baby girl, and another aunt took some others, and then I ended up actually with a third aunt. So it was funny because at first all of us, 5 of us, were in the same house with my aunt, who had 4 children.
Kids were older. Yeah.
So they would have 9 children in one house. That was tough because it was sharecropping.
That's truly amazing that you all were educated behind such,
Yeah. We talk about it. We realize that God has been with us.
God has been good.
Yeah. He's been with us.
I understand that you had a book published.
Yeah, actually I had 2.
2 books. What were they about?
The first one, which I called Reclaiming Our Youth, was about how to use biblical and spiritual principles to bring our children back from the violence and from the failure in education and conflict. So the second one is kind of like a recap of some of the things that I experienced, kind of change some of it around to make it a story, but it's basically a lot of things that I've seen myself.
We do have something in common about those books. I have 2 that I've written too,
Oh, great.
And I have I've been in contact with the publisher.
Okay.
I have the manuscripts, both of them. I was thinking about self-publishing too, if I had to do it that way.
Have you, the publisher you've been in touch with, local?
No. My son's a minister, Wayne Nelson, and at the convention, the last convention that they had, he was in touch with the publisher
Mm-hmm.
who dealt with those. You know,
Okay, good, good.
and I have all the information at home, and I've just got to get off my rump and call them and see what can be done. Yeah, because books I've finished sometimes.
Yeah, I should put it out there. As a matter of fact, speaking of, there's a lady I met at a convention. She works with the ASCD, Association of School Curriculum Developers or something. And she said they were looking for authors. I guess she didn't say, probably black authors. And I sent in something she said they were interested in, but I needed to do something else with it. And self-publishing is not a bad way to go to get started. If you have the time to then, once you get it published, to network and put it out there.
Right.
But that's what with my first book. I had a book signing at Borders at that time, Borders out here at the mall. And the young lady who was working in there had made contact for me on the East Coast to do some traveling. But I was working full time, and I couldn't do that.
That is your religious background, I guess. Way back there with the Kwame, and you were in the church at that time.
Yeah. Been in the church most of my life. Even when before my mom was killed, she had us in church.
Just that.
Yeah. So.
Well, when did you become a deacon? Looked like you should have been a minister. I looked to see if you're on the roster with the pastors on Sunday morning.
No. I used to do a lot of speaking engagements, actually in South Carolina. And I think Reverend Davis probably introduced me to that. But I became a deacon at when I was at Roundup. And so that must have been around 94 or something like that. So it's been in a long time.
Well, I'm really pleased with this interview. I know that you are a believer, and you believe in the Lord. You believe that He's a healer, and He's all those kinds of things. I know that you recently had a health problem, and I know that we ask for your testimony about it because it may help someone else. What is your testimony as far as your health problem?
I am really amazed. Initially I was questioning, wondering, I never drank, didn't smoke, tried to do exercise. I said, so, why would something that just out of the clear come from the inside of my body? And so I started thinking that, well, remember, if God allows it, then He has a purpose for it.
He has a purpose.
And it may be that, as you said, it may be that someone else needs to
hear it, to hear your testimony.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I made a commitment that I'm not going to just be involved, or just serve Him when things are going well. That I'm going to continue and do everything I can, even while I go through this. Because He brought me through even more difficult things.
That's it. You won't run no more than you can bear.
Right. So my testimony is that God is faithful.
God is faithful.
And so I must trust Him, and that trust must last even through challenging times.
Right.
If I only have joy, I only can smile when things are good, then that's a little convenient. But the strength has got to be that same trust, the same joy, because it has to be based on His faithfulness, not mine. Anyway.
That's right.
So God is faithful. Like I said, He took 6 of us children from Brooklyn,
After hearing that story today, I'm telling you, you're blessed.
Yeah,
the whole family's blessed.
We are. We really are. Yeah. So the thing I do keep asking, you know, I ask God sometimes, you know, did I get out of His will by coming to New Jersey? Because it's been a different experience.
Yeah.
It's been different. Because it said, you know, we were fine. We almost had our house paid off, and you know, I'd been at that elementary school for 9 years. And actually, you know what? I forgot. Just before I came here, I actually got hired to take over another high school. And so when here in Atlantic City, the only position they had was another vice principal position. Mm-hmm. So I was actually being asked to give up the principalship to come take a vice principalship. Right. Yeah. And that was tough to do, you know. However, you know, I didn't know I'd deal with it.
Lord just led you here, I guess.
I guess so. Yeah. I guess so. But you know, he's made things kind of work out. I mean, we haven't lost. Right. You know, we eat every day, and you know, because you know, we didn't plan to even buy a house. We were renting an apartment in Atlantic City, and my wife and I both say that God gave us this house. We had a lady, a Christian lady, they suddenly were going to change the tenant towers. Mm-hmm. They were closing it or something.
Yeah, right.
And so we had to hurry and try to find a place, and we could not find another place to rent. And I'm saying, this is crazy. Here I am, you know, riding around my family as if I'm homeless. You know, it really that really got me. But then, like I said, we ended up. They were just doing some stuff out here, and we stopped by, and you know, we expressed some interest, and we looked at this model, and I don't remember how things went, but one day we just said we're going to ride back out and look around again, and when we came back by, the guy, they'd actually started building this house for us, and I said, what? And as it turned out, the day or a week before we had to be out in Tenant Towers, we actually were able to move in here.
How about that? Yeah.
So, you know, so I say in that way, God has not let us lose. I just, yes, He has. Yeah, so there have been some things that were challenging that I said, you know, I don't know if I would have to go through that if I had stayed there, but I don't know. You know, it could have been something else worse.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, there's a reason for everything that God does.
Yeah.
Well, I'm amazed. It's really a blessing, you know, interviewing you, and we're really at the end of it now, and I'm really pleased to know that I'm even more amazed at you now after hearing your story. It's a wonderful life you've had, you've lived, and as long as you live it for the Lord, put Him first in your life.
Amen.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure for you to take the time to come and talk to me. I appreciate it.
I really enjoy hearing your story.
Well, thank you.
But God will make a way.
Amen.
Yeah.